All right, guys. So here we have a bunch of guys sitting around on a stage talking about, what it means to be a man. And as somebody who has really done a lot in his life in maybe a quote unquote traditional way, um, I need to comment on this Wes Hanson guy. So check this out.
Guys, we'll start this off with a question for the panel. I think it's helped you guys a lot. How do you define success? And we'll start with Biame Kevo.
How did I find success?
How do you define success? What does that mean for you?
Success is, being free, being able to do what I want to do every day when I wake up.
For you?
Yeah, same thing. Being able to do what you want, when you want, and with whom you want, whenever you want to do it. Because a lot of people don't have that level of freedom in the world, so I agree 100%.
Yaros?
To be honest, it's working in what you love, because you got to wake up and love your life. You just create that, that life you just want to live every day. You don't want to stop, Sometimes I don't want to sleep and I want to wake up earlier just because I live the life I want to live. I also with my wife, like I'm married but not trapped. It's not like I hide shit. It's everything is up front. Like I don't hide anything and I show everything. So,
Blessed man.
Okay. And my definition of success is across the board. If you're not ripped, if you're not rich, if you ain't rare, if you don't stand out, if you ain't across the board successful, it doesn't mean fucking shit to me. If you got straight.
So right off the bat, he's basically already attacking people, saying if you're not everything, you're nothing. So this is Wes Hanson, apparently. I've not heard much of him. I think I'm gonna be diving into how a guy like this gets as popular as he does, because he's the pseudo man. He's fake. Everything about him, it's show, it's insecurities on his sleeve. So let's keep going.
Straight tits and you're in your Rolls Royce, you look like a fucking clown to me. I'm just laughing at your dumb fucking ass. But this is the whole fucking point. You have a weakness. Change it, motherfucker. How the fuck are you going to lead people if you don't realize your weakness is their way out? They're not going to listen to you. You're sitting there possessing shit that they don't want to have. So, this is what people say. Oh, it's not about the money. It's about family, Wes. It's about this, about that. Motherfucker, when you're making money, it's about the money. When it's family, it's about family. When you're at the gym, it's about muscle. Whatever you're doing, it's about that. There's no black and white life. It's the gray area. You have to be good at everything. That's the goal, to really excel in every area. I roll in most rooms with successful entrepreneurs, and it's pathetic. They'll have like a before and after picture of their fitness shit, and their after picture looks like their before pic. And I'm like, motherfucker, you're not embarrassed of this shit? Like, you have enough money, and that's what you put out. You're that big of a pussy. Like, I just can't get behind anything that's not done at a high level. So knock the one thing off the board first, then the next thing, then the next thing. Jados is ripped, rich, and rare. The whole thing, what's rare mean to me? It means no vices. It means no drugs, no alcohol, no bullshit. You don't have to hide behind nothing. What's rich? You get to do what the fuck you want. I don't need you to be a...
Do steroids count as drugs? Because seems they do, and if I had to guess, I'm not making any final statements, but if I had to guess,
a billionaire to say you're rich, or other people, they'll see that even I rent my place, it's $95,000 a month, but they're like, you rent your place. It's like, you dumb motherfucker, you don't understand how to even operate at my level. People don't buy a $24 million house. They buy $24 million worth of properties that would bring them more money. You don't dump all that into that fucking liability and live in some $24 million pad you bought, stupid. You fucking make investments and you bring it back to this. But everybody thinks they know some shit. And if you don't have the results that I want in some area, I can't fucking listen to you. So most people, I won't listen to them. What are they going to tell me?
Okay, so my definition of success will probably be far different than everybody else's on the panel. I'll probably maybe be the lone dissenter, but my definition of success is having a family, having children, and being part of the apparatus of the world. And true wealth is a rejection of materialism as Christ.
So Andrew Wilson is somebody who is he's a little rough around the edges, in my opinion. Sometimes he says things to just trigger people, but I think that's just kind of the world of debate and cliques that we live in. He he makes a lot of really great points, though. To have a family, to be a good father is honestly the greatest power up that a person can get. To be put in the role of being a father and trying to raise your son or your daughter to be everything that they can be is going to challenge you in ways that you can't even begin to imagine. A rejection of materialism. You know, when our kids start obsessing about these iPads or this technology, and we tell them, hey, you should probably, we know that it's not good. And I have a saying which is, you never grow up, you just pretend how to be a child better. And that is all that Wes Hanson is. He just is better at pretending to be a child.
Christ said himself, what good does it benefit a man to gain the entire world at the cost of his soul? And essentially, when I think of wealth, I think of materialism. It's okay to have materialism. It's not against Christian ethics to become rich, become wealthy. But I just think it's all beside the point, ultimately. You're trying to go for a single thing, and it's to achieve something greater
You have
than
money.
the person.
This is the thing. This is the thing, you guys. If you ain't fit, you can't say it's not all about being in good shape.
Why not?
If you don't have money, you can't say it's not all about money.
Yeah, why
But
not?
if he does have money.
So this is kind of like that woke argument of the whole trans thing, which is you can't speak on women if you're not a woman, and only women know what women are, and it makes me think of that Matt Walsh, what is a woman video, where he asks the trans woman, do you know what a dog is? Right? You don't need to be an expert in something to know. However, as a competitive powerlifter myself, years ago, I spent about 7 years in the gym. I got some pretty good lifts in. I backed away because being ripped wasn't all it was turned out to be. I hurt all the time. I got injured. I have an annual tear between L5 and S1 from deadlifting too heavy. To do anything outside in normal life, to go backpacking at 260 pounds, there are definitely big people, big ripped people who can do a lot and can manage to functionally be strong. And this is something I'm gonna talk about a lot on this channel is what it means to actually be strong, right? So I do mixed martial arts, and being this big buff guy who can bench press everybody off of him, all it does is get you arm barred. And that's actually a big part of why I quit lifting so heavy and just looking ripped. Looking ripped does not mean very much, especially when you start to get into the world of martial arts. Anybody who has done any kind of jiu-jitsu, in Muay Thai it means a little bit more, in boxing it means a little bit more, but there's a video of Eddie Hall getting kicked in the leg. I'll have to post that right here, by a 9-year-old kid. And guys, I'm telling you, it hurt. That was not staged. It seriously hurt him. Just 2 days ago, well, Friday morning, we did some conditioning, and me and my coach, we kicked each other at maybe 15 or 20%, and it hurts, guys. So being this big muscular guy, it's just for show is all it is. And I realized that a bit away into my journey. At first, working out was just for me to look big, to have big muscles because of my insecurities. And then it came into strength, but then my strength was because of insecurities. I'd go in the gym, I'd put 315 on the bench, and it made me feel good. Now, I've grown up. I don't need an audience. I don't need to walk around feeling ripped. I still exercise. I train 5 to 7 days a week, mixed martial arts. I do Vale Tudo, so jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing, kickboxing, just a little bit of everything, mostly jiu-jitsu. And I have found functional, real strength in doing that. In the Ranger Corps, not that I ever served, thank you to those who did. I'm only thinking of a few examples, specifically David Goggins. Now, he's a little rough around the edges too, but man, that book Can't Hurt Me, that guy went through a lot. In the Rangers, and this is based off of what he says and a little bit of common sense, they don't exercise you to the point of getting stronger. They exercise you to the point of breaking you. In my gym, we call this, or the idea of this, huzzah. And what it means is to show your heart. When you can't go anymore and you have this guy just beating you up, and you're able to keep your cool, and you're able to keep pushing even though you don't have anything left. That is what true strength is. It's not being able to put an extra, little tiny plate on a bar and push it up in a linear fashion. That is not what strength is.
Money, he can't say that.
Why not?
He
Why can't you say it? Why must you have the thing before you hang on? Let me ask the question.
Because hypothetical is hypocritical.
Let me ask the question.
Hypothetical is hypocritical.
How do you even know what I was going to say before I've even been allowed to ask the question?
I know what you're going to say.
Then what was I going to say?
You're going to say how?
Are you a veterinarian? Can you tell me what a dog is, right?
Why can't you ask the question?
Okay, so that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is, how in the world can you create a standard that it's inappropriate to ask somebody, how come if I don't have X thing, because I don't value X thing, does that mean X thing is actually valuable?
You've never experienced it, so you can't speak about
You
it.
think that I haven't experienced wealth? Even
I
poor
was
people,
asking if you did.
Even poor people experience days of wealth.
I was
They
asking
can-
if you
even
did.
poor
I don't know
people-
who you are.
But even poor people experience days of wealth. And so the thing is
No,
it's
definitely not. Definitely not.
Definitely
Definitely
so.
not.
Definitely so.
I've lived the lowest lows and the highest highs.
Well, what's the distinction? After you make X amount, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you look at these studies done on this, it does not.
I don't fit no
hugely-
fucking
It
studies.
does not hugely improve a person's life.
Are you proud of who the fuck you are?
Why
Well,
don't
look
you
at.
even
Are
let
you
me
proud?
get-
If you look at.
So this is true. I can't remember exactly the study, but I remember me and my friend going over it. I have a great friend who has become quite wealthy managing his financial assets, and he just works a full-time job as a traveling occupational therapist. And he's become quite wealthy through stock trading and options and being financially smart. The study suggested that after about 80K a year, it's diminishing returns, right? Like your happiness starts to, it doesn't keep making you more happy. Having the new shiny thing, it just gets old, honestly. And as somebody who, like Wes Hanson, went through addiction and had the lowest of the lows, when I started running into wealth, I'm a nurse now, making roughly 100K a year, and to have that kind of wealth, not that 100K is a lot, but I have everything that I could possibly need. And if I want something new, I can easily save to get it. I've learned very quickly in only 2 years' time that having the new shiny thing, it's fleeting. It doesn't fill you. And to have the nice watch, to have the nice jewelry, each person has their own little quirks, right? I have my PC and my big TV. I'm kind of a geeky guy, but that's a great example. I just bought the newest iPhone, and I spent, gosh, like $1,200 on it. I was just as happy with my $400 phone. Honestly, the camera on this is a little bit better, which is a great tool for streaming. But other than that, it serves the same purpose. The only thing that wealth brings to somebody like this is being able to flaunt it in order to cover his insecurities. That is why he thinks that he is better, is because he's covering an insecurity with wealth.
in the mirror. Would you guys say this motherfucker's proud of who the fuck he is? That's a bag of trash, dude. Pull your fucking shirt
Because
off
I've been-
tell me you're fucking proud
Because
of yourself.
I've been to fucking prison?
Jesus Christ,
Because
look
I've been
at
to
you,
prison?
bro. You got 10-inch arms and tits. Men don't have tits.
No, they go to prison where they get fucking
Fuck yeah,
where they
they
get
do.
raped up the ass.
You've never been to prison. Look
That's
at
what
that.
happened.
Speaking of success and Wes Hanson's idea of being the best that you can be, I think speaking to other people is probably one of the most important skills that a person can have in their life. So, and it's not something that comes naturally. You really have to learn how to speak to people. This is a prime example right here of somebody who has not done enough soul searching or self-discipline in his speaking to be able to get rid of his facades, his insecurities, to be able to speak to somebody else. He just starts attacking, he just speaks louder, and he just flexes his muscles, and he thinks that, oh, this is what makes me valid. No, this is not what makes you valid. This is what shows people who strive to be real men your weakness. That is all that this is.
You don't know.
They go to prison where they get
Why
raped.
you get your ass beat in front of
You think that that's
everybody?
better? You think that that's better?
Let's let him give his definition of success. And
Having tits and 10-inch arms is what a man is, you guys.
let's let him
Please
get his-
don't listen to that.
Wes, let's let him get his thing out, and then
Tits.
We can have different opinions.
Yeah.
Titties.
Anyway, back to where I was at.
Boobs.
Yeah. Okay. Prison. But anyway, if you want
Yeah.
to follow the successful mantra of a man who tells you he's reformed from prison, understand why they might have gone there to begin with. And
To take
yes,
care of a
I do think that a rejection of materialism is something missing in society, and I do think that true wealth is the family, and I think that true wealth is having a wife, and true wealth, that is what I think it is. And that is what I think truly success is being able to go home and look your family in the face and know that you're doing everything you can to support them. Else
You
is
saw me
worth more
standing
than your
there,
children.
Dad. My dad's a superhero. Look what he brought to the table. Look how hard this guy works. He came from nothing to this.
we can
We can
we can
move on, but
we can-
Jesus
yeah.
Christ, men don't have tits. We can agree on that. Physically,
Men usually have
he has-
hair. We
he
can
has
agree on
cro-
that too.
He has
Physically.
crossed over gender barriers.
So, what about you, brother?
All right, nice.
Crazy.
Being successful is effectively acting on your intentions, and I think I agree with Andrew that your intentions must align with something bigger than yourself. In my case, it's God, the Christian God, and so a success to me is fulfilling on your intentions, but maintaining your ethical standards. And if you're doing that as a Christian, you are in fact procreating, and if you're not, you're doing something that fills in that gap that's equally effective to contributing to a moral society. And I think if you're not contributing to a moral society and you're only contributing to a consumerist society, a materialistic society, that's the only thing you're going to worship. And tons of people worship material things and flash it around, but it's vacant. It's spiritually vacant.
The craziest thing is, if you looked at the people who are supposedly materialistic, we've helped more people than these guys who claim.
Why is helping? What is?
That is not true. Something that I've really got to talk to a lot of people about as somebody who did get quote unquote ripped and had that outward appearance of having everything all figured out, right? When you have a lot of money like Wes Hanson, just because you can help people does not mean that you do. And just to throw money at people is not helping them. Like this guy right here, to be up here yelling at these men, to be insulting them, this is not inspiration. This is not feeding somebody's spiritual and mental health. This is just putting people down. So it's, all the studies are coming out about people who are homeless and the results of just handing them money or just handing them something. It doesn't fix what's broken inside of them. That comes from real sacrifice of yourself, becoming vulnerable, being there for them. So another point that I like to bring up to people who are starting in the gym, because of people like Wes Hanson, Andrew, for him to just yell, "You have tits, you have tits," it's the exact opposite of what is really gonna get somebody to lead a healthy lifestyle in order to really a lasting healthy lifestyle, right? It might make him go to the gym a few times out of insecurity, and Andrew's not probably that guy. But let me ask you guys something. Does it show strength of character to already be in shape and to go to the gym and flex your muscles in the gym and to look good? Or does it take more strength of character to be out of shape and go to the gym at all, to continue going down that journey? I think we all know the answer.
Why
You've
is helping?
actually
Wait.
changed my
Why is
life.
helping important to you?
I mean, because I know what it's like to be at the bottom. This is why they split it like this. I'm sorry you got put over there.
No, I know.
You don't really fit over there. We need some other little fucking lame douche over there.
Oh man.
There we go.
We're on Rumble, right?
Yeah.
We're on YouTube too.
Oh, well, fuck it. We do it live. We're not on my channel. We do it live.
Bro, George Michael wants his pants back.
Dude, God damn, look at whose shirt is that? Dude, your fucking mom bought you that. Your aunt bought you that for fucking Thanksgiving dinner. That's like Oshkosh Bagosh or some shit, bro.
Welcome
Jesus
to the
Christ.
roast session today.
Dude,
What's success, right? Freeing the slaves. That's what it is. Mental slaves, man. That's what it is, man. And I gotta agree with Wes. You gotta help people out. Like you can't it's true. This whole thing, right? I came from no money, immigrant, Mexican, having trouble with the body. So shout out Wes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But we've helped a lot of people. We've made millionaires, and that's changed people's lives. That's helped people get fucking families, and now people have the time to fucking go to the gym, do everything. But it's about freeing your mind, and that's what I'm proud of, and that's what I do. That's what Charlie does. That's what most of these men on this panel do, is we free people from their fucking mental slavery. Period.
So
I have to agree with that. David Goggins, he's a great example of somebody who was very hard. That guy is hard as it gets. And the Can't Hurt Me version that I got the pleasure of listening to on Audible was him, gosh, I think 8 or 10 years later, going through the book with a guy on a podcast. And he is the first to admit that doing these extreme changes in lifestyle are not lasting. For most people, when you go to the gym and you destroy your body because you feel insecure about it, and that's your driving factor, when you go home and you can hardly walk the next day, you can hardly lift your arms, that does not help you go back to the gym. You have to have a different driving force than just being insecure about yourself. It needs to be higher. It needs to be bigger. So although somebody like Wes Hanson and Andrew Tate, David Goggins in his first years, I would agree that they can kind of get you out of your initial slavery of your mind, which is this, for some people or a lot of people, is just kind of being trapped wherever they are. And we all need a driving force to help us get out of that. And Wes Hanson's driving force is still this very shallow, childish thing. Andrew Wilson and the guy next to him, I'm not sure who he is, those are people who look like they are secure within themselves. That shows a lot more strength. You have chronic illnesses, you have all these factors that make us human, that play into our lives. And what really makes a person strong is being able to go through trials and still have the ethics and the ability to help people. Does it mean more when a poor man hands his last dollar to somebody who needs it? Or does it mean more when a rich guy hands somebody $10 because he feels bad for him? There's just so much wrong and immature and childish with Wes Hanson's view here. However, initially, I do see the appeal and the draw to especially younger crowds who are looking for a drive, something to break them out of where they are. However, these attitudes, this playing on insecurities, it's not lasting. These things, they don't make a real difference in your life.
Oh man. Well, here's the thing. I'll tell you this: we got a bunch of masculine guys on the panel because they're arguing with each other. So that's how you know.
Those are some stuff, Mr. Steal Your Bitch.
Yeah.
And his buddy.
Keep shaving your body.
What I will say is this: I think the definition of success is a combination of everything that everyone on the panel has said, whether being free, being able to have a family,
Sure.
Being able to have your money on point, being in shape, which I agree with 100%. If you are going to be married, you're free and you run the marriage the way that you want.
Karate bodies.
Being free. I think all these, how do I say this? All these attributes absolutely make you into the top tier guy. And it really comes down to having all the pieces, right? We talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And all 5 pieces of Exodia. You got to have all 5 pieces. The piece that I'm missing right now, which I will admit that that Wilson has is that religion does matter, right? Whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, etc. Understanding that there's a higher power and being devout to something and understanding that and following God is very important. That's something that I need to work on myself. And I'm definitely going to admit that, I haven't been the best Muslim. I haven't been the most devout Muslim. And it's something that I need to go back to at some point. But I think being religious is very important. And it's something that I'm missing. Obviously I have the fitness, the money, girls, whatever the hell it may be. But at the end of the day, to be fulfilled, you need that religious component, I think. Especially.
I just have to comment on this because Andrew Wilson, he's definitely a debater at heart. Well, and in skill. It's kind of what he does. One of the points that Andrew Wilson makes in any kind of ethical debate that he's having is, where do you derive your ethics from? Right? So religion, even Muslim, Buddhist, Jewish, Christian, they all have this idea of being a part of something bigger than yourself, which is generally giving to people who have less, being kind when you don't feel like being kind, looking into yourself to look for your weaknesses, get the log out of your own eye before getting the speck out of someone else's. The point that Andrew makes all the time that would just go right over Wes's head is, if you do not have an ethical system designed by God, in my case, Jesus Christ, then your ethical system is derived of either from yourself or from those around you. And that could easily be Hitler, that could easily be Biden, that could easily be Trump. So having a more solid and time-tested, the Bible is the most sold book of all time, and Jesus is often referred to, if not as the Savior, as the greatest philosopher of all time. And that right there says a lot about the people who choose to follow him. It means that you are following the greatest philosopher that ever lived.
Especially when you have it all. So, no one here on the panel is wrong, honestly. Some guys are specialized in other things. Some guys are better at some things than others. But I think the general message, the underlying message is 100% correct. You got to have your money on point. You can't be a fat piece of shit. You got to be able to run the marriage, if you are married, the way that you want, where you're able to have an open relationship, where you're able to be on a private jet with 4 other women with your wife. Or if you want to be monogamous, that's fine too. But I think you need to be able to run your life the way that you want, understand that you're put on this earth for a reason, and God put you here for a reason, and it's not to waste it away. So turn it to fresh.
I think success just means you have a choice that you can make every day. So waking up saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do with my life, I'll do. And ultimately, if you're a guy out here, you want to be successful for yourself and your family. So I think for most people here, you want to grind, make money to invest for your family, but how do you get there? And it's having goals, setting it for yourself, running it back, how do I get to this point, and execution. I think for most people here, by yourself, you can't get it done. But with a team, people that are successful or on the way up, you can get it done. So I think having a good network, people around you, and having that mindset and goals helps you go all the way. But yeah, as you can see here, we all have different opinions, and it's success in different ways.
As you guys see,
Oh, yeah.
everyone has a perspective of life. Sorry for my English, I'm Spanish, But what you gotta understand is your perspective is gonna shape your reality. Okay? So there's many things being said here, but one thing I gotta say that I back up Wes is that you can never be truly in peace with yourself if you're not proud of how you look. Because to be present, you're gonna be proud of your presence. So, you gotta be proud of how you look in the mirror. That's money on the side, I've been broke and I've been rich. I'm always gonna choose rich, bro. I've been fat and I've been in shape. I'm always gonna choose in shape. So I feel that's the main message here. You guys gotta be proud of who you are, because if not, you're not gonna be walking around of your best version of yourself.
Well said. Okay, second question, guys, is going to be, what is your daily routine for success? We'll start here.
What's my daily routine for success?
When you wake up, what's your routine like?
My routine is, as soon as I wake up, I'm on my fucking phone, fucking answering questions, helping people out. But I guess it really starts with when I go to sleep, honestly, because it's the sort of thing where if people need me, I'm up until I fucking can't stay up anymore. And then I wake up, and then that's what I do. And then this is something to what you guys were saying, where it's a passion, where like you gotta love what you do, you know. And I really feel with that, because depending on what you do for a living and stuff, you literally can get consumed by it. And a lot of times to be successful, you have to be consumed by it. So I'm truly addicted to what I do. So that's my whole thing. It's just all day staying on top, helping my guys, and then whenever I sleep, I sleep. But you know, trying to add better like habits to that. You know.
Okay. Jim?
I'm going to speak from the creative side. How many creatives do we have in the audience? And I don't mean you wear a fedora. I mean you create. You do stuff. My being effective creatively, I found that you have to do your creativity the first thing in the morning. If you have other things to do, if you're a father, if you're working a job on the side, you're going to be resentful if you don't do that immediately. I promise you, if you do that in the morning, there's no excuses. You don't resent your job or your second job or your family for getting in the way of your creativity. Just wake your ass up in the morning. Don't make any excuses. Get it done. It's out of the way. Even if it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, that's my routine.
All right. Andrew?
Yeah, so I start off by playing video games with my kids. That's the first thing I start off by doing. And then basically the rest of the day I read books. I read more, and then I read more on top of that. And that's, for me, what I've seen inside of the United States, that most people are illiterate. Because they're illiterate, they can't actually train themselves how to do any of this type of stuff. They don't even know how to read. And they don't know history, they don't know anything. If you were even trying to be materially well off and wealthy, still literacy and being able to understand what it is that you're reading and having a good basis for history, I think, is a necessity for even material success. So I would recommend that you read. More than anything, that you read. And it's something that I notice a lot of people can't do.
All right. Wes?
So reading has absolutely changed my life. When I say that communicating with people is a skill, it's a skill that's really taken me off guard, because to be able to communicate with others effectively means that you have to have a sound heart, a sound realization of your biases. You have to know how you're going to react to different ways that people are going to insult you, and different ways that they're going to make themselves victims, and how to inspire all at the same time. All of this takes an incredible amount of realizing who you are, employing a lot of different skills in how to speak with others, and a lot of perspective from their point of view. A book called Crucial Conversations. Every single page of that book made me have to look inward and question the way that I speak with everybody around me. Reading has absolutely changed everything about me. Honestly, people who have the patience, the resolve to sit down and write a book about a single theory or concept, they've done so much, generally speaking, to be able to speak on that it is very valuable to whatever you're trying to achieve. Something that I'm realizing as I'm getting older is there are people out there who devote themselves to things in ways that I could never hope to ever devote myself in the same passion, to the same extreme that they do. And although I can't implement, at least not yet, not in this state of mind, I can't implement everything that they do and that they are, I can learn. It's like the cheat codes, right? I'm kind of a gamer. And when I want to be better at a game, I don't go watch somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. I go find one of the best players in the entire game and all the tricks that he's learned over the thousands of hours that he has spent failing and trialing and doing all these things. Books is exactly that. That is what a book is somebody who has taken the time to look at their mistakes, to try different things, all in order to be able to articulate and share something that they have become nearly an expert in, if not an expert.
You guys, Jesus, fuck. Okay, get out.
We're definitely
You
on Rumble
guys,
now.
we don't have an education issue. We have an application issue. Everything is
Guy has no
very
idea what he's talking
easy
about.
to do. You have to sit down in the morning. Your conscience is the authentic voice of God. If you look in the mirror and you got tits like Fat Boy, then in the mirror your conscience is telling you, God damn, you should probably do something about that. So as you wake up, your conscience is telling you to make a move to do something. When you guys wake up tomorrow, what will it be? Maybe drop the drink. Maybe go work out. Maybe be better than people around you. I mean, I've helped and saved more lives than most people could ever fathom. Literally. From a very simple process. Because prison has a way of programming that makes you mentally strong. So, I mean, the whole point is to really listen to your conscience and have it guide you to the areas that you need to change. I've been getting up at 2:45.
And that's exactly what this is. This is a prison mindset. When you have no other responsibility except for self-growth, it makes it very easy. You know, there's a joke in my workout group about how we need to go to jail to get in shape, right? Because you have nothing else to do. Now, I have a wife and a son who I co-parent with his mother. Great relationship. Very blessed across the board. I have a martial arts group. I have work. I have a church life. I have things outside of myself that I need to pay attention to, that what makes me as good as I am, which I don't know how great I am, but it's what I do for the people around me and to strengthen the parts of me that aren't impulsive. He's describing the difference between motivation and discipline. When all you do is act in the things that you want to do, you're just leading a selfish life. That's all you're doing. And it's comfortable, it's easy. When I want this PC, so I'm gonna save money and I'm gonna do this. Oh, I want more money, so I'm gonna do A, B, C, D to get more money. You're just describing a pathway to selfishness. And selfishness is weak. It is so easy to meet our own goals. What is not easy is being outside of ourselves enough to be able to help the people around us, to be able to be somebody that somebody could rely on. And, if I had to call somebody for a little bit of advice, maybe for 2 minutes, I could listen to this guy enough to get my butt out of bed. But after that, after I went to the gym and I worked out, this guy would just be a vulgar, like, I wouldn't want him to sit down with my family, have dinner with my family, and have his big, giant ego in the room with him. So,
For 16 years. I got up at 2:45 for 16 years straight, have never missed, because I
That's
knew
great.
I had
You were
to
in
be
prison.
mentally
Congratulations.
strong to be the leader I needed to be when I came out. So I came out
That's
and I
great.
showed everyone what worked for me in prison to get through my hardest days. The hardest fucking days of my life. I started my time at 25 years old and got out at 35. There was a million thoughts that went through my mind that there's no fucking way I'm going to be successful again, but I didn't care about that. I really just fought through all the pain of what I knew I could be, what I knew I could do, and I really listened to what I had to be. So I was drawn to creating this individual that I admire. And regardless of, look it, if that's what he admires, good. I want you guys to do this and know this is your purpose. To create the man you admire in every way and give that person to the world. So if you create the individual that you unbiasedly admire, you can step in the mirror and say men are supposed to wear bras. If that's what you really believe, then you can do that. But I believe that the man I admire is who's standing in front of you. Someone who's ripped, someone who's rich, and someone who has rare habits that built them into a real leader in a world full of fucking pussies who are so mentally weak they just side with themselves all day instead of what would really benefit
Ironic,
themselves.
isn't it?
If that's who you admire, who's looking at you in the mirror, run with that. But if you step in the mirror and your heart, which is God speaking to you, tells you to make changes, make them.
Well
And that's
said.
it. That's what I want you to do. Like, your conscience is the authentic voice.
It's hilarious because to me, the first step to becoming better is being comfortable and knowing who you are. If you can't If all you see is your downfalls, that is the easiest way to spiral into depression, into alcoholism, into ego lifting, into nothing but bad habits. The very first step to making yourself a better person is being comfortable with the person in the mirror, because that's what's going to create lasting change, not hating yourself. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Grace of God, and I teach everyone about conscience congruency, living in congruence with your conscience, and that means that everything you're being called to do, no matter how difficult it is, you do it. That's it. So what the fuck changes do you have to make? You got to make them.
My first goal is to just get to that point where I'm grateful. You know, I've had my best days. I have very good days when I had no money, and I have very good days when I have money, and very bad days with no money, and very bad days when you have money. So money doesn't change really anything. It's just more comfortable. So my first thing in the morning, I wake up 4:30 every morning. It's a must, because if not, I'll just go back to party, to drugs, to all that stuff. I hit the gym. I read, you know, I reflect, and I want to be close to God, because that's the only thing that really brings me peace, you know. And after that, I just start my process, you know, start working, you know, answering DMs, helping people solve the problems I had myself. And just, I feel like if I don't give 100% that day, wherever I am, I feel bad. So my only goal every day is just to feel good. Everything I do is to feel fucking good. Like, the thing is that when you give the 100% every day, but I mean 100%, people think they're just giving 100%, and you're not, bro. You know, like, you're not. If you really surround yourself with top people, you think like, what the fuck, man? I'm literally doing 5%. This is why we have more, because we actually do more, bro. You know, like luck. Oh, he was lucky, bro. Luck is God. Like, everyone has what they deserve. It's literally facts. Just check out where people come from. I don't get impressed by Bugatti. I want to see where he came from. Like, how long did it take? Who helped him? You know, where he come from? How he did it? How did he did it? How he makes his money? So just wake up every day to be grateful, to feel good, and no one feels good, you know, going party. No one. I used to play video games all day, bro. That doesn't make you feel good. You escape reality. Drugs, you're escaping reality. You know, chasing women, you're escaping reality. Why are you escaping? What are you escaping? You know, every time I see someone like drinking, I was the other day in the yacht. The yacht beside was doing a party. Everyone drinking. And I was sitting there and I was like, dude, what the fuck are these people escaping? Like, the lives are so bad, dude. Is your life so bad you have to escape your reality? Just stop there, drop the drink, drop the drugs, and think, what the fuck are you escaping from? Is it your wife? Is it your family? Is it your kids?
This is exactly what I'm talking about. When all you do is beat yourself up, you're just gonna escape it, because beating yourself up is not getting a way out. If you can't be comfortable with any kind of idea of who you are, why would you make yourself better? If all you think of yourself is that you're this horrible, wretched person, what's even the point? What's the point of making yourself better if you're just the scum of the earth?
Yourself, just figure out what it is and attack it.
Well said.
For me, it's just being obsessed with problem solving. So basically every morning you wake up, you're like, okay, what's the problem that I'm trying to solve today? For some people it might be, you know, working out. Some people it might be money. Some people it might be women. It's other things, right? But if you actually truly get 100% interested and obsessed with what you're doing, there's no way you can't have success. Like, a lot of you guys are basically saying the same thing. Just keep doing these steps, you know, bit by bit every day, right? So what we tell people in our course and different things that we teach, it's like, hey, if you're starting out, just start out with, like, you know, 30 minutes a day, right? And then ramp it up from there. You don't have to be like an obsessed crazy person from the get-go, but as you gain success, you will, in my opinion, or at least my experience, you will just kind of, I don't know, maybe it's my personality too, but you just automatically become obsessed with what you're doing, and then that leads to more success. So it's kind of a snowball effect. Of course, you know, you do have to have some balance. You have to have some time off from here and there, but, you know, keep the pedal to the metal, and, you know, with whatever it is that you are doing and pursuing, and be consistent with it, right? I think the biggest thing that I tend to say with people is consistency and persistence are the only two fucking things that you need in life to actually succeed. right? So the more that you're consistent, the more you're persistent, and the more you're obsessed, and then you keep going towards your goals and you don't give up, you're bound to have success. Some people start in different places than others, so some people have to work harder to, escape the the gravity of their situation per se. But once they do, right, it's a freeing experience, and then you do have to reset your goals at that point, right? You have to be like, okay, so what am I doing now? Where's that? I hit a plateau. Okay, where's the next level from here? Because maybe I was, in a very negative place, and now I'm good. Okay, now I'm good. Now how do I get great, right? So keep pushing yourself and follow those three things.
All right.
Very first thing I do, I wake up, I pray about 5 in the morning, then I go to the gym about 2 hours, and then I just figure out ways to try to make the money that I spent the last day, you know what I mean? Which, that's my main goal, like, you know what I mean? And I just try to help as many people as I can. That's my goal. That's all I be.
I like that. You live day by day, bro. People just fucking. What are you gonna do in 5 years, motherfucker? I just wish I wake up tomorrow. You know.
I got $55,000 worth of recurring revenue that I make every day if I sit on my fucking thumb and just sit on my ass and fucking play with my balls playing video games. I make
Inspiring.
$55,000
Wow.
a day, no matter what the fuck
What a
I
cool
do.
guy.
Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to say F-bomb anymore. So no matter what, 55 grand a day. But I still get up to show everyone how to live. I still get up to help everyone. I still make a gang of content every day. Because I remember when I was that dude on the prison cell floor and I needed a message to get my ass up. I needed something to motivate me. And the thing is the people who need help, that really need help, are the old me. The dude who will smoke you for some rims on his car. The dude who will seriously take your life to get the stuff he wants. That's the person who needs to relate to someone like me. You don't need to circle jerk a bunch of woke folks who are like, it's not about money. You're not helping Karen by saving 17 other Karens. You need to save the people who are actually the problems of the world, the old me. Those are the people who need saving. And those are the materialistic people. So you need to show those people there's a new route to make money, building your personal brand, teaching people how to really gain control of their life,
So my schedule, guys, it's a little weird. So I wake up, right? It could be somewhere late morning, afternoon, and you guys will see here why it's so late in a second. I'll typically wake up, and the first thing I do is I deal with my real estate. As you guys know, I have 20 real estate properties, almost 50-plus tenants, etc. So that becomes extremely cumbersome and annoying, right? You're making sure that bills are paid, mortgages are paid, water bills are paid, tenants are happy. This tenant is on Section 8, they didn't pay their portion, evictions, this guy didn't pay his rent, etc. So that's a whole other thing. I'm dealing with that most of the time throughout the day. And then, if we got a show, obviously I'm preparing for the show, whether it's me and Fresh going back and forth, figuring out what we're going to talk about, or if we have a topic at hand or responding to a hater, whatever it may be, I'm writing on the notebook, right? And we're getting ready for the show. We do the show. As you guys know, we do 2 shows, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do the daytime show. Then the girls come in. So if I didn't work out already earlier, what I'll do is in between the 2 shows, I'll get a quick workout in. I'll go downstairs, get a quick 45 minutes to 60-minute session in. I'm training, full body workouts and specialization days. I'm training 4 to 5 days a week. And then after that's done, we got the girls there. We do the nighttime show for you guys. Those shows go into 1, 2 a.m. And then when that's done, obviously cleaning up, take the squad out for food. By the time I'm back in my spot, it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I'll either A, stream Overwatch, or B, I'll go ahead, for hours,
For hours.
into the morning, or I'll research YouTube videos, what's going on, what's trending, go on X, tweet some stuff. You guys see me, I tweet always late at night. That's why I'm trying to build the audience up on X. And then post some reels on Instagram before I got banned. And, obviously try to be out there and put content out. So that's my day. And then I'll go to sleep at like 7, 8 in the morning sometimes. Sun is coming up. And then wake up and do it again. But I pretty much live my life around the podcast to try to get you guys the best content. And that's what I mean when I say, like, there's no other podcast that works as hard as we do, man. I genuinely believe that. If you look at all the top podcasts, they might put out 2, 3 videos a week. We're putting out 6, right? And that doesn't count Fed Reacts or whatever because I'm, is researching for that as well because, people love true crime. But what about you, Fresh?
All right, guys. So I have 2 schedules. One that's serious and one that's just playful. So if I'm serious, I have a whiteboard in my room with my goals, short-term and long-term, right? And my thing is like, okay, if I'm focused on making things happen for the business, or podcast, or real estate, I need to focus. So I have a list of things to do daily, and then I end up causing an effect of long-term goals being successful.
All right, guys, we're going to end it here. So the biggest point of this video to me was that a man like Wes Hanson can become as successful as he is. And I think it's because he appeals to the ego. And man, the ego is something that can take you places very high and then very low very quickly. Having the ethics, having that higher purpose and things outside of yourself is what is going to keep you in a straight line. Right? When you're the only guidelines for how you're supposed to live your life and you lead your life that way. Well, when you slip, so does everything that you believe in, because you direct what you believe in. To be a man, to have strength and success as a man, to me, is to be able to know your weaknesses, accept them, and then fight through them. Weaknesses is that now here's where Wes is missing the point. Your character, to me, is the accumulation of all the things that you think are important. Being kind is at the top of that list for me. At least when I'm dealing with other people, right? When I'm thinking of myself, well, we have a saying in healthcare. You won't remember the words that your nurse said to you. You will remember the way that they made you feel. Because that shows the way that you make somebody feel means a lot more than being able to yell at them, hey, you titty, you got titties, blah, 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 you got 10-inch arms. You're going to make them feel like crap with what you said to them. You're not inspiring people. So take this. Let's see if we can find some real men out there and review that.
Successful. So